when I started doing projection and VJing, it was quite basic at the beginning. I was doing very classic VJing. I would sample some films and some documentaries and loads of things. So I would just get loads of sources and cut them, and then my approach to VJing was more real-time or live video editing, because I wasn't using any effects or anything special. It was just playing things in sync and fading things together and trying to have some kind of narratives. So it was more like live cinema in a way than it was really different to what I do now. But yeah, I had this more like live cinema approach. And then slowly I started organizing a club night in Bristol, in the UK. And then I was in charge of curating the VJs. So I had to invite good visual artists. So I spent ages trying to find.
8 years ago?
6 years ago, I think. 2006, 5, 6, something like that. Really bad mistake. But then, so then I was looking around at trying to find interesting visuals and unique approaches. So then that's how I met and how I invited Pikilipita. He was mixing with a Game Boy at the time and developing his own software to make his visual, and his visual style was quite unique because I haven't seen similar things for. So I invited him and many other people, and I think that's how I met Legoman. He's from Geneva and he's a really good VJ, and he was one of the first to play around with netting and transparent materials. So he would create big structures in 3D space with many layers, and using the projector as a light source. And he wouldn't project film or videos, but more he would prepare his content to be projected in 3D space. So then, after seeing his work, I was really inspired and really impressed. So we started working together and collaborating together, and so then I started projecting onto objects, onto buildings, onto origamis and drawings. And after that, I never did VJing again, like classic cinema, live cinema approach. Now my main focus is to get out of the rectangular flat screen. So pretty much on all the projects I work on, the idea is to use objects or structures or architecture or paintings as a canvas, and use light to play around with optical illusions or trompe-l'œil. And so now I'm really fascinated by visual perception. I really want to understand how it works, how we see the world around us. Is what we see reality, or is it something different, or can we question what we see? So I've got these new topics that arrived. I didn't realize, but slowly I got interested into how camera works, how you do the focus, and quite basic things. And then slowly started being interested in stereoscopy, how we see things around us with depth and with 3D, and how you can trick the brain. So with 3D projections or with some special production, when we do a mapping, we really like to play with the architecture, like move the windows, open elements, and we try to make it as realistic as possible to create an interesting experience. So I really need now to understand exactly how visual perception works.
Where do you find information about it? Do you study something?
No, I haven't really studied it. I buy books. I always have I don't know which one it is now, but I buy small books about color or perspective. It's in the other bag. But yeah, I really need to learn even the basics, how the different frequencies, waves of colors work, how materials catch the light or not. So I just read books, small books. It's not really rocket science, but I had no idea about how Portland would work. So I get loads of stuff from the internet and also from books and from experiments.
And what are you going to present here?
I was supposed to present a selection of 3D films but unfortunately we have a problem with the 3D projector, so it's not happening. So I was part of the mapping workshop this afternoon, where I showed some of the software we developed and some of the visuals we did. And tomorrow I will do a presentation of the visual label I run with a friend of mine from Bristol. It's called AntiVJ, and so I'm going to present some projects. And
you're a part of AntiVJ?
Yeah. I kind of started it 4 or 5 years ago, and then I invited more and more artists, and now we have 7 of us.
Do you call yourself feature or visual artist?
Visual artist, I would say. Yeah. At the beginning, I was really a VJ because it was clear that I had VJing software. I was projecting on a VJ screen behind the DJ, and I was mixing videos. A DJ mixes music, and I was just mixing video. I wasn't really. It was this approach.
Now, what are you doing is evolution of VJing. Do you think in this way, or VJing is changing now, or?
I think VJing is probably evolving, because I think in some way VJing is art as well, and I wouldn't say that all the VJ content I've seen is. It's always the question of what is art and what is design and what is not art. It's I think everyone has a different opinion, and but I feel more like kind of visual artist, because now I do installation in galleries, performances on stage. We build structures with architects as well. I don't really do video mixing anymore. It's so yeah, I quite like the term visual artist. I don't really like calling myself an artist, because I feel like it's the audience to think if they think it's art or if it's just something else.
Do you think VJing is changing art? Influence art, or?
It's a difficult topic, but I would say, from my opinion and the experience of what I've seen around, I've seen people coming out of the VJing scene and going to something else, something different, that is much closer to art or contemporary art. Like this guy Quayola is producing videos. I think he used to play live and to do VJing, and now he's doing installations and pieces in galleries and in cathedrals, and it's not. I don't think it's VJing anymore, because it's not video mixing at all. It has nothing to do with video mixing, but it came from this background, and now it's definitely into the art scene. It's selling some pieces, and it's starting to get bigger and bigger, and so yeah, he moved from VJing to more like contemporary art.
Next, what we will next mapping is future stereoscopy.
It's difficult. I think it's difficult to say anything for sure, but I think stereoscopy is definitely getting bigger, because Hollywood is investing a lot into films, into cinema, and loads of brands are also investing into to have 3D TVs at home and to have cinemas everywhere. So it's getting everywhere, but there's still no content, or not much content. The only thing you can see is Avatar or similar things, and I don't really feel like it's any close to art or something very creative. It's my opinion, but I really feel they're just using the classic Hollywood format with the narrative. The action scene has to be 1 minute 20, and then it has to be a love scene, and then it has to be so it's almost like they've got this business model, and it's something that just applies. So I don't feel it was amazingly creative, or I don't think it was revolutionary in terms of 3D. But the good thing is stereoscopy is going to be everywhere soon, and it's getting more accessible for artists to experiment and to play with. So hopefully, I feel like there are amazing things to do with 3D. I haven't seen any yet, or only a few. But I think in the near future, I'm sure there will be some beautiful pieces in 3D.